The Illuminate have returned from being eradicated from the galaxy 2 times now. And with their return, many people are asking, what's the best build against the squids now? What are the best primary weapons to use? Wait a second. That's not what this video is about. The primary weapon customization system was just added. Everyone's leveling up their different favorite, the Liberator, Reprimand, Breaker Spray and Pray, whatever it may be. So what this video is actually going to be is what is the best build that doesn't require a primary weapon. That way you can take a loadout with any primary weapon you're trying to level up. Or maybe you're just going for completion and you chose one of the worst options and you just want to feel confident that you'll be able to get the XP at the end of a game. So I actually have two setups for you. One is using a backpack support weapon that I think is honestly insane right now in my opinion, and one that uses a support weapon without a backpack. That way you can bring your favorite backpack. Now, before we check out the loadouts, a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Instant Gaming, an awesome video game keys website I have worked with many times before that can get you cheaper video games so you can save money and buy more of them. Right on the front page right here, you can see Claire Obscure, a well-regarded video game for only $31.95 when on Steam. We can clearly see it's still selling for 50 bucks. And I've used this website myself many times and they always get me my keys instantly. It's just a good website to check using my link in the description to see if they have a discount on a game you were going to buy anyway. So let's hop straight into the first loadout. The first one is using the medium machine gun or the heavy machine gun, and we're comboing this with the supply backpack. Now in the background footage, I'm using the medium machine gun because like I said, I was leveling the Breaker Spray and Pray in this footage. One of the worst options. Only works from close range and even still kind of sucks at that. So I wanted to pick a weapon that had like a bit more extra ammo for long range fights, if I want to spray down voteless or whatever I want to do. But I've also been using the heavy machine gun a lot this patch. Depending on what primary weapon you're using, if you just want to rely on your support weapon, then pick the more ammo option, the medium machine gun. But if you're using your primary a bit more, then you can use the heavy machine gun, which is way more powerful at killing the heavier enemies like the harvesters, the flesh mobs, and especially the flying ships. But I can guarantee you this loadout will work with whatever machine gun you're picking. Now, I'm also using the Siege Ready armor set because that gives us an extra magazine for our machine gun of choice. That way we can crutch on our support weapon just a little bit more. Now, between heavy and light, I prefer heavy armor because I prefer to live longer against jetpack overseers blasting at me, and I just don't want to drop my machine gun that I'm crutching on. Now, I did already say I'm using the supply backpack already. However, that is mainly because you might have noticed, but all three guard dogs are bugged this patch. They can sometimes randomly fly away. I have brought them on different matches and sometimes they stick around, but occasionally I need to call in a new one. The bug's a little bit annoying, but once that bug does get fixed, I think all three of the guard dogs are pretty good right now. But I do want to point out that the laser dog does light enemies on fire, and it's definitely worth noting that fire damage did just get buffed. This will burn down flesh mobs for you automatically, and it can even actually kind of kill overseers now. It's kind of nuts. Or if you prefer something like the gas dog to keep enemies around you distracted so that you can get those stationary reloads off. And it's also just good at killing voteless with gas damage because they pretty much only need one gas dot applied to them and they die. I really recommend these two dogs right now because fire and gas are both just very powerful. All right, so we've already gone over two stratagems, the machine gun, the backpack, and the armor set. Let's just get the secondary weapon and the grenade out of the way. So the dagger right now is a pretty awesome secondary weapon. Again, simply just because fire got buffed. It has infinite ammo. It is basically just a laser pointer in your secondary slot that applies fire. In the background footage, I'm doing a little bit of some technology swapping between my dagger on the flesh mob to set him on fire. And as soon as he's on fire, I blast him with my machine gun. And then once he's off fire, I switch back to the dagger And I just kind of cycle like this, and you can see he goes down very, very fast this way. And I even did it on a couple overseers in the background footage as well. However, if you don't want to use the dagger, then I would recommend the grenade pistol, because that can take down Tesla towers for you. So in our grenade slot, I've always used incendiary impacts on the Illuminate. With that being said though, the new grenade just came out, and I did happen to post a video on that. So I was using the firecracker grenade. But if you didn't get the new war bond, either choice is very, very good. Fire damage is buffed. I've always used fire grenades, and now they're just even better this patch. So that is all of our base gear out of the way. Let's just talk about the last two stratagems. The first one being the Gatling Sentry. I know a lot of people prefer the regular machine gun sentry because of the short cooldown, but the Gatling Sentry just looks so cool. It is probably my favorite sentry. It gets so much damage out very, very fast. It has a strong impact as soon as it comes down. Even if it ends up getting blasted by a harvester beam, you know it can at least push out 30 or 50 bullets or something like that before that happens. And for my fourth stratagem, I usually like to pick an Airstrike or an Orbital. I have been enjoying the Eagle Napalm this patch, as we have 3 uses, so that's what I'm using in the background, and I can pretty, confidently cycle the Eagle cooldowns, put it on rearm early. With that ship upgrade, you get it back even faster. And again, with the fire damage buffs, a hot topic in this video, the Eagle Napalm just feels really, really good again. Now, just for some other options, because I know everybody loves Strafing Run, that is definitely a good option. And I just wanted to mention Orbital Gas here, because I did mention fire a lot. Getting some gas damage into our loadout could be very powerful to distract enemies like flesh mobs. But also the Orbital Gas can destroy a parked UFO if you need it to. Either of these 3 options will work in your last slot. I just generally like to take at least one Airstrike or Orbital in my loadout, just so that I can throw something down and I know it's just gonna blow everything up where I throw it. That is it for the first loadout. Okay, so now on to the backpack support weapon loadout. And this is a personal favorite right now. I've already spoken about this in a previous video, but that is the Autocannon, primarily using the flak rounds. The Autocannon flak is super powerful this patch, clutching on those flak rounds for very nice kill on the heavier units. Just be aware that this will pair with any primary that can kill voteless, because you're going to have a little bit less ammo compared to a machine gun with the siege ready armor. But luckily for us, any primary weapon in the game can kill voteless pretty well. But to be fair, it probably pairs better with a non-explosive primary weapon. That way, if enemies get in your face, you can swap to that and blast them down. So the only enemy that you don't want to use the flak rounds on is the harvesters, because the AFAT rounds 4-shot them in the joints. Just be aware that it staggers them a bit, so you have to take slow and steady shots. But also, if they're beaming at you, you can kind of just blast one anywhere, hit them in the body even, just to get them to stop their beam. However, with the flak rounds, it does have a chance of one-shotting overseers if you land it in a nice spot. Usually it ends up being a 2-shot, which is still pretty great. It also easily deals with flesh mobs in anywhere from 4 to 6 shots. 4 if you're lucky. On average, we get 5. And sometimes if you get unlucky with shrapnel bounces, it could take a bit more. But the thing I really love about the autocannon flak is against the flying enemies. The jetpack overseers can be extremely annoying, and using a gun with proximity rounds that you don't have to be super accurate with, and that's able to take them down in 1 or 2 shots, is pretty valuable in my opinion. And against the Stingray, it literally takes those down in 2 shots for me pretty much every single time. I just have been really enjoying the autocannon, and so I have to recommend it in this video. So to be fair, we're rocking a very similar loadout to the first one. We are a bit more flexible with the armor set because Siege Ready isn't really benefiting the autocannon here at all. I did happen to be wearing it in the background footage because I forgot to switch it out. So if you do want to wear it for your primary weapon, that is perfectly fine. Some other good armor sets, a really good defensive armor set is medium padded. You get a little more speed with the benefits of heavy armor. Otherwise, extra grenades, extra stims, or your favorite choice works here. In general, I just tend to wear heavier armor sets because I like to be a bit more defensive. I don't want to die to jetpack overseers. Now, in the secondary and grenade slots, I just kept the same secondary and grenade, but I know some people might be skipping around with timestamps. So to quickly go over those, the Dagger for infinite ammo, and it can also kill Overseers in 2 full burns if you need it to. So light an Overseer on fire, let it burn out, and the second time you light it on fire, you can pretty much just look away. They have died in 2 burns for me every single time. We do not need a grenade pistol in this loadout, considering that the AFET rounds can kill, from the autocannon, can kill Tesla towers and the inside of ships. And again, I pretty much always use fire grenades no matter the loadout. So incendiary impacts or the new firecracker. These are my preferences, and this is what I can guarantee will perform well. For the stratagems, we are using the same 2 as the last one, but we have 1 extra slot. Again, I love bringing the Gatling Sentry for lots of quick, fast bullet hell. It just looks so badass and cinematic firing alongside of it. For the Airstrike, just one of the 3 options I mentioned before. Eagle Napalm, I've been enjoying for the 3 uses, and it works really well as our single airstrike in this loadout. But like I said in the first section, everybody loves Strafing Run, and that is a good choice. Otherwise, Gas Strike can confuse flesh mobs. Sometimes there's a lot of them on the battlefield, or take out a parked UFO for you. And so now for that last stratagem, this is completely a flex slot. If you want to bring a car with you to traverse the map faster, do that. Bring whatever you want here. For me personally, I brought the regular machine gun. Now, this is probably going to depend on what primary weapon you're leveling. If you're leveling one of the worst ones, then I recommend the machine gun sentry. However, if you are leveling like a breaker incendiary, which performs very, very well, then you can flex a bit more and bring the car with you. Now, I did mention earlier in the video, I like the Gatling better than the regular machine gun sentry because the faster fire rate and getting an immediate impact. You throw it down, it blasts so much bullets out, like instantly. Even if it dies fast, it gets a bunch of bullets out. But in this case, with an extra stratagem slot, we're rocking double sentries for just absolute bullet hell. But realistically, the reason the regular machine gun sentry is good is because it has a really low cooldown, and it can help keep more ammo in your autocannon or keep a grenade in your pocket for random hordes of voteless. Throw down the machine gun sentry off cooldown every single time you get it. And also, it can provide a useful distraction for harvesters. If you see harvesters on the battlefield and you want to get your Gatling Sentry down, throw down the regular machine gun sentry first, so that way they're more likely to target that one, and then get your Gatling Sentry down, and it is pretty much safe. And that's it for both loadouts. Just a quick video for you guys. The goal of this video, again, was to make loadouts I know will work if you are at level 1 of your favorite primary weapon. I was leveling the freaking spray and pray during this recording, which is not even close to the best gun. So I needed a loadout to cover pretty much everything beyond 10 or 15 meters from me, and definitely able to kill all of the heavies. Let me know in the comments what you've found good against the squids so I can go test it out myself. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm out.